Today, we are going to be using the Moon deck for the week ahead reading. Haven't done this before. I show each of the cards and give you an opportunity to tune in to see which, or if it's a combination of both, will resonate. So this is card number 1 and card number 2. And what you're looking for is any sort of sensation or knowing or image, anything that presents for you that pulls you towards one or the other card. And here's card number 1. So you can comment in the chat with a 1 or with a 2. And this is a fun, low stakes opportunity to follow along as we go through the readings and see if your intuition was correct. I'm going to show them each one more time. Card number 1. And then card number 2. Does somebody want to see them together? I'm getting something about seeing them together. So I'm just going to close my eyes. For people's reference, I don't look at the cards until I flip them over. So I'm going to show card number 1 over here, card number 2 over here. Okay. And just let me know in the chat where you stand. I see we have a few people saying card number 1, saying both, card number 2. You were just thinking that. Okay, yeah, because I was like, I feel like someone wants to see both of them, which if you attend these regularly, you know that I don't usually show them at the same time. I'll go with 2, 2, 1. Okay, I would say we're pretty evenly split. All right, very, very interesting. And please let me know in the comments as we are going through the readings what stands out, if your intuition was correct. What's coming through is that expression, reduce, reuse, recycle. So it's a bit of a re-energy, which of course I think is funny, knowing that we are in Mercury retrograde. And I did mention that the Chiron retrograde is starting. So I wonder how much of it is picking up on that. We also have Saturn retrograde that started before. So we have a lot of the backwards motion. We're at that tipping point in the year where more and more planets are stationing retrograde. And then really the rest of the year, they're pretty much all going to be retrograde, except for those innermost planets. I keep getting things about refreshing. We're it's like a spritz bottle. So we're spraying our plants. We're spraying and then dusting. We're spraying with an all-purpose cleaner. It feels like it is not a deep clean, but a holistic, comprehensive cleaning. We are making sure nothing is left unturned and unattended to, but we're kind of going through it pretty quickly. We're not sitting and concentrating on any one life area for way too long, but we're really checking to make sure, are we good? We're doing a spot check, tidying up. Yeah, it's a bit of maintaining the status quo, but we're looking for opportunities for improvement. We just might not be making those changes right now. These efforts are underscored by what we deem valuable and worthy of our time, of our efforts. We have the emotions card. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. What I can really appreciate about this pairing is we're talking about trying to kind of cover everything, gut check everything. How's it all doing? And the thing that I said at the beginning, reduce, reuse, recycle. This is literally the cycle card. So it is about going through a process. With this card, we tend to be thinking about what's our emotional processing. It's a reminder that nothing is permanent. The constant is change, and that we can lean into flow. And it's a reminder that we don't have to be swallowed up by overwhelm because this too shall pass. It's that type of messaging. So when we are looking around at what we have, what's going on in our life, it's not necessarily always about the material, but in some situations it could be, because that is an aspect of your life, what it is that you own. We're doing a cleaning. We are looking around. I love the fact that we have this kind of visual here. And my truth. So we're being connected to our truth. And that is, what is it that we deem valuable of our energy and time? So I would say this is a pretty neat fit. And what I mentioned before about being able to identify the opportunities, it's the seeds of value. So this value theme, what is valuable for us and what can we seize and act upon later? We're in reflection right now. We are taking inventory, and we're also going inward because, of course, this is looking at emotions. This is looking at authenticity and truth and connection. This feels just that simple. This is in this space, in this mindset, in this feeling of calling, just all week long. There's no strings attached. There's no, we need to do this or we need to do that, or we run into a problem or we don't. We're just looking. We're tending. We are maintaining as we're doing our spritz, making sure nothing is left unturned. We can have some insights and realizations of what we really value and what our opportunities are. And we can just put that in our pocket and take it with us in the coming weeks. So it doesn't even feel like everybody acts on whatever opportunities they come across next week. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It seems like there's a bit of a lag in us actually moving forward with anything that we come to realize this week. But we're just trying to be. It's just about being present. Like I said, taking inventory and thinking about our time. That's what's happening with our time and what's happening with our energy. We can only figure that out when we are staying in the present as much as possible. And when we're rooted in the present, we can remember things end, things begin, this too shall pass, this is coming for me, manifestation. Who am I in the present moment? Seems like there's a lot of different iterations, different kind of questions and thoughts you could have depending on which area of life this is picking up on the most. But in the grand scheme, it feels like we're trying to approach life this way across the board. It wasn't coming through that we run into a problem that we are solving. It's not like, oh, I picked this up. Oh, this is a big thing. I've identified a block. That wasn't really the language, because what we were finding was we were finding opportunities. And maybe your opportunity is a thing you have to heal or change or shift later. But it felt more like we were harnessing things to leverage. Like looking inward, emotions, truth, authenticity. Yeah. Trying to make sure I'm getting the language right here, because it was coming through either as we wait until the wait is over, or when we wait, the wait is over. So I just want to get confirmation on what the actual wording is. wait until the wait is over. This feels like a very strong message in patience. We're idle. We are puttering around. We're looking around. But we're not necessarily changing anything because there isn't an urgency. Even if we think maybe there's a problem, it's not actually urgent. While we wait, the weight is lifted. So the other kind of weight, like this is just so consistent here. So I would be really curious to know if anyone right away is resonating with this, in that there's something that you think is going on that is an obstacle, that is troubling, that feels daunting, and you don't want to sit on it. You want to wait, you want to act, you want to resolve it, you want it to go away. And yet we keep getting told through this message over and over and over again to not take action. It's not as urgent as we think it is. That the weight, the heaviness of it will dissolve if we sit on it. And it's not sitting on it and that we're being passive. It's just that we're putting too much weight. We're putting emphasis on it that it doesn't deserve. It's not actually that urgent. It's not actually that important in the grand scheme. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of yeses in the chat. Bev, this is what I was contemplating an hour ago. Okay. All right. And so for everybody who was picking 1 and 2, for people that picked number 2, are you some of the people that said yes? I know, Misty, you had said both. It's a persistence. It is a true persistence. In what? Persistence in our patience, or just the persistence of the messaging? Both. We have patience as word number 1 of the week, and then persistence is number 2. And that's because we have to be persistent with our patience, as well as cling to persistence and make sure that we keep going without acting on anything, because of the fact that our action may be out of line or out of sorts, not in a perspective that will actually help with resolving the thing we think is a problem, which we're being told isn't as big of a deal as we think it is, and or it will diminish in scale or scope if we leave it alone. Okay. Card number 2. I am courageous, steady, and strong. So of course, when we're talking about persistence, that is a steadiness. That is being stable. That is fortitude. So I think we are hitting this on the head here with both of these readings. And I love with this card, there is a stoicism to this. We're so certain. We have to come back to that. We have to feel brave. If we feel nervous and rattled by whatever it is that's going on that we think is a problem, we are brave in our patience. We are brave in our persistence to actually not do anything, to be steady, to be calm, to be self-assured. It's an inner strength that we hold on to when we persist. This is interesting. It has to do with work and stepping into my new direction. I've noticed that I just need to slow down and practice patience because it's only temporary until things move forward. And I love what you just said, Misty, because it actually, in a way, was tying the 2 readings together. You said temporary, and that's what we talked about with the first reading, that things are temporary. So no wonder you had a combo. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We're going around cleaning our life with a spritz bottle. This is not a deep clean. This is maintenance. We are leaving no stone unturned. We're taking full inventory of our lives. We're looking around and we're coming upon opportunities. We are also not acting on them. We're just seeing them. We're acknowledging them because we are spending time this week through the first reading, recognizing that these efforts, this maintenance work, the spritz cleaning, are underscored by what we deem valuable of our time and energy. So as we are looking around, as we are assessing what we have physically in our lives, material, as well as our relationships, habits, routines, all aspects and corners of our lives, we're assessing the value of it. Where's our energy going? Where's our time going? Is it worthy of that? And also, where do we have opportunities? Maybe we are underfueling those areas of life. And simultaneously, we are considering our emotions. So as we encounter each of these areas, as we are reflecting on them, how do I feel about it? How do I feel about my relationship with that area of life? What's coming up for me? This is the emotions card. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. When we talk about this card, we're remembering nothing is permanent. Everything can change. We are supposed to be living in the present moment. So when we are assessing what is most important, what our values are, we stay present, knowing things will leave us, things will come to us, things will evolve, they will shift, they will change, whether it is your emotions and how you feel about something, or whether it is the material things that you have, the relationships, the habits, the mindset, any area of life. Because again, this is very, very holistic. We don't act on anything. We do not act on anything that we are seeing, thinking, feeling, because that will come in another 2 to 3 weeks. Reading number 2, we had all these different quotes coming in. Wait until the wait is over. We have this idea of patience. Whatever the issue, challenge, obstacle, thing that we've been avoiding, thing that we've been dreading, thing that is overwhelming to us, quote, it's not actually urgent. It's not as bad, scary a problem as we think it is. And, quote, when we wait, the weight is lifted. So this situation, circumstance, whatever's going on, we can leave it. We don't have to act now. We don't have to do anything. And recognize that when it sits for a little bit, when we are patient before leaping and trying to do something, that actually the heaviness, the intimidation, the complexity could actually resolve itself a little bit and slightly dissolve. What we think is intimidating shrinks down in due time. The emphasis here, in addition to patience, is persistence. Having to hold strong to this patience. We may we may waver a little bit because we really want to do something, because we feel that we can't just wait. We can't leave it alone. So we need to remind ourselves, we need to hold fast with persistence, and also leaning into more of a persistent mindset with our steadiness. Because if we just jump and try to do something to tackle or resolve this, we actually could be coming from a place where we're not helping, making it worse, and in part because we're coming at it from a perspective that is not aligned with actually resolving it. I am courageous, steady, and strong, and this, of course, is speaking to a lot of the persistence piece, the steadiness. We are moving forward with intention, with conviction, with strength, with focus. But we're not just running in wildly. We're certain, locked eyes. We know what we have to do. And in fact, what we have to do this week is nothing. And that's hard. So we have to lean into our strength fortitude to sit. Yes, it is Leo season. Yes, it is Leo season. Yes, we did just have the Leo new moon. In case you missed those videos, or that video, you can check that out on my YouTube channel for the Leo new moon. Obvious through line with these two cards is that we're not taking action. So regardless of which reading you related to, we're doing something, if you will. We are in motion. We are in progress. For reading number 1, we are in maintenance mode. We're looking around. We are evaluating. We're reflecting on our time, our emotions, our efforts. Where's our energy going? We're thinking about what's permanent and what's not permanent, what's valuable to us. Big questions. So this is work. This is not passive. And for the second reading, again, we're not quote unquote doing anything, but we're also not entirely passive. It takes willpower to not just jump at something that looks like a problem. We're practicing restraint. We're practicing patience and persistence. And both of these take effort throughout the entire week. Do they deplete our tank? No. But we are geared up, we have information, we have insights, and we'll then be able to take action later. That was another point of comparison. It came through in the first reading that the things that we're reflecting on, what we're uncovering, the opportunities that we find, we don't take action on them for another 2 to 3 weeks. And for the second reading, we're talking about waiting. Well, eventually the wait has to be over. So honestly, it kind of feels to me that these could fit quite neatly with each other. They could even be talking about the same thing. So you may be sitting more in the reflection and assessment energy, or the patience and persistence and inner strength energy, or you could be doing a combination of both. And maybe that is because when you're doing your spring cleaning, if you will, you are spritzing, you're finding an opportunity, you want to act on it, but you have to wait. So that is one way that this could manifest. It really is giving the vibe to me that it's one or it's both together pretty much fully simultaneously, rather than like these are extended energies. These are things that we're sitting in. So it may be that if you're someone who's doing both, you don't recognize it right away, but this is the head, this is the emotions, this is the heart, this is the will, this is your strength. And you can tap into that trio here. The only thing that we don't have engaged is the body. So we have like the mind, the spirit, emotion, but we don't have the physical body in either of these. So that's the only piece that's kind of missing in action here. But we're looking at all areas of life. We are identifying that maybe something that feels like a problem. Evan mentioned earlier, what if this is the block? Maybe you did, in fact, find a block or something that you think is a block, but then maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't, and you'll find out when you wait that maybe it's an opportunity. So this comes across very, very fluid as a process that you can go from one into the other very easily. And part of that is because you never know what the opportunity is, never know what it is that's going to be testing your patience, that's going to make you feel afraid. That's where the courage comes in. You think it's a problem. Oh my gosh, I have to do something. No, we don't. No, we don't. We can take a deep breath. How did it make you feel? What is really the most important? What do you value? Is you spending your valuable time and energy on this problem worth it? I like this story. This is very tightly interwoven.